welcome back to Crime Besties to an episode 31 of our show. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Oh, and I've got a new host, I think, with a new voice.
I know, right? Apologies in advance. Me and my eldest son, we have both just copped the dreaded lurgy this last week, or a bit over a week now.
Yeah.
So we're just not feeling 100%, but, you know, got to soldier on for the sake of our two crime besties. So apologies.
Will get you going.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry if you hear coughing in the background. I'll do my best to cover it up.
No, you're all good. It's very sexy.
Oh, it's quite deep actually, isn't it? This morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to call Meg and let her know we can't record tonight because it was 10 times worse than this. It was horrible. I was talking to my sister-in-law and she's like, oh my God, you sound terrible. I'm like, I don't feel bad anymore.
No.
I actually feel fine.
That's always good. It sounds worse than it is. But yeah. You've really copped it.
Yeah. Oh, we're fine. We're on the mend, so that's all that matters. How have you been this last week or so?
Yeah, been good. Obviously getting to the tail end of the school holidays and everything, and some people are back at work, you know, those that don't do jobs like I do where we get all the holidays. Oh, we'll be back in holidays again another 10 weeks. It's all good.
Unbelievable.
But it's been good. No, I've been enjoying lots of been down by the beach and stuff and hanging out and everything. We've had really good fun holidays these holidays actually. We've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, yeah, we went away for a little bit and just camping, but we did that and we've been doing sort of day trip type stuff.
Yeah.
We've spent some time, my brother lives near the beach, so we spent some time down there. We haven't really done a huge amount because, as I said, it's been over a week that we've been unwell. So that's definitely kept us in the house and around the house. But I'm looking forward. We've got, a week and a half or so left of school holidays?
Yeah, a week and a half left now, yep.
So I'm really looking forward to doing a few fun things. I'm back at work, and I work 3 days. So I've got a couple of days a week extra where I can, do a few bits and bobs with the boys. But you were saying you went to this adventure...
Yeah, Enchanted Adventure Park, I think it's called.
I really want to go.
Yeah, down by Arthur Seat. It was fantastic. I've been there before with my boys, but then this summer... Grandma's Christmas present to the kids, to all the grandkids, the 4 of them, were tickets to go there. So we had a really good day. It was fantastic. My sister-in-law and my mum and the 4 kids, we just had a really great day. Like they were doing like this tree surfing thing. They go up in these really high, like I think one of them's like 10 metres off the ground, like tree climbing thing that it was amazing watching the kids do that, and they're so brave getting up there and doing it. It's incredible. And my youngest too is typically one that does not separate, let alone go and do high rope things. He's the kid where you go to a place there and his eyeballs like pop out of his head of like, that's cool. And then he goes and climbs up it, but then can't get back down. But so I was like, terrified he was going to do that to me at this thing, and he was going to have to get somebody up there to try and get him down because he'd want me to go up and get him, but there ain't no freaking way that's happening. I ain't doing that. So, but he did amazing. It was so good to see him get the confidence up to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got these big tube things that go down these grass
that's cool. That
hill
sounds
thing.
Awesome.
Oh, my God. The amount of trips they went up and down that hill, I cannot believe. I know my sister-in-law was like, I think she did like 4 or 5 treks up the hill to go down.
Do you have to
the
carry
kids.
the tube with you?
You've got to drag the tube too.
Wow.
And so
it's an effort.
Oh, big time. She said, look, they're not heavy, but it's a very steep hill, like that you've got to get them up. So it's pretty full on. Like she said, the backs of her legs were absolutely killing her. So yeah. So a bit of a, she really put it out. She did good. But it was such a good day. Such a good
Love
day.
It. All right. I feel like I'm going to try and fit that in before the kids go back to school.
Highly recommend. Yeah. And I think we managed it to get there on the day it wasn't too busy too, which was, because I think it could get pretty busy there.
I bet.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go, our kids have a curriculum day for their first day of school. Maybe I'll go that day.
Probably a really good day. You probably absolutely have the place to yourself.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's phenomenal.
I might give that a go.
Although just be careful of your kids there.
One of them in particular. The most accident-prone child on the face of this earth. Yeah, I will. I'll be really careful with him.
You can't. It's fine.
I'll be like, make sure you're super harnessed in and we'll all
Oh,
be
that's
good.
the thing. Up on the tree climb thing, they're fine because they are. They're literally harnessed in the entire time. Nothing can go wrong there. It's the risky playgrounds they've got around, which are they're awesome and it's good. Kids need that. Kids need
absolutely.
it. Yeah, so good. No, I highly recommend.
The other thing I was going to tell the people is about how we are gluttons for punishment, maybe. So this afternoon, we're recording this on a Friday night because, hashtag school holidays and whatnot. There's no way we could record if all the kids were here.
Oh, no. Well, especially what we had cop this afternoon.
Yeah, but they were desperate, weren't they, to record their own little podcast. So we got everything set up and your two actually did a really good job. They had an idea of what they wanted to do.
They were so excited to get on the mic.
I love it. Maybe we can put a little snippet at the end.
I was just thinking, just do a little snippet. We won't put it. Oh,
the torture of it. No, we won't, but maybe just a little snippet at the end.
Yeah.
Stay tuned if you want to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, my God, they were loving themselves sick because they could see themselves in the camera. They think they're YouTubers or something because they're like, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to buy us a coffee.
They were onto all of it. They were, buy us a coffee. Oh my God. They were into all of it. But yeah, and Brody's rap that he wrote specifically.
Oh, that was incredible.
Actually,
that was actually so good.
He's left it here on the table for me, actually. It's bloody gorgeous. I might have to take it home with me.
Oh, you absolutely should.
Yeah.
You should.
No, it's so cute. Did you get the bit where, adults drool?
Yeah.
And kids drool?
Yeah. Yeah. Part of its charm, really.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they're so cute.
That was so good.
So we endured that this afternoon.
It's very loud.
It was really loud.
Turn the volume down when I do that edit.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to normalise that audio for sure. And then your kids have gone off to their dads for the weekend now, and my kids, I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but they're playing with their father. They should actually be almost going to bed.
I think they were doing some sort of fortnight off between all three of them or something.
Oh, this could last a while then.
Well, I think there was a hard out at 8 p.m.
Oh, that's something. Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. We'll see if we can still hear them in half an hour or so. All right, should we get into today's case, do you reckon?
Let's jump on into today's episode. So today, oddly enough, actually, I went to the movies this morning with my kids and I went and saw Mufasa, the Lion King. But today, we're actually going to be talking about kind of the Tiger King.
Sort of. In a roundabout way.
Because we're going to talk about Carole Baskin today. So it kind of brings back all of those lockdown memories come flooding back in of watching the Tiger King on Netflix. 2020.
Did you watch this during lockdown?
I absolutely did.
Same. I was like, I feel like I binge watched it in a day or two at the time. I don't know how I found the time to actually I know I had the time, but the kids would have been around. I can't remember. Maybe we watched it over a couple of nights. The kids were a bit younger. They were
probably in bed a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So yes, it was intriguing at the time. And then I realised when we were researching this that I actually had not watched the second season all the way through.
Right.
Not that it really pertains much actually to this case, but to Carole Baskin in particular. But
she opted out to be involved in that at all because originally she thought that when they were doing that documentary of the first one, it was meant to be a reminiscent of Blackfish, in terms for the big cats. It was, this whole idea was that they're putting together a documentary that would make people then rethink how they interact with big cats and stop, abusing these animals. But that's not what ended up being the documentary that was on.
She says that, right? We're going to get into so much more. She says that.
Yeah.
But yet she sat down and did these interviews and answered these questions that had sometimes nothing to really do with the cats.
Yeah.
So she has actively participated in, it's not like they've, I don't know.
Yes and no.
Inferred anything.
Did you watch the Louis Theroux documentary? Because I feel like watching that, you kind of get a bit of a different side of what happened.
That's true.
And I think, to a degree, there were definitely questions she was asked that would have made you go, hey, what's that got to do with it?
Yeah.
But I guess in the big scheme of things, you kind of go, oh, they've got to edit stuff, I don't know. What maybe they managed, maybe the producers were bloody good at getting her to talk and she was maybe said things and then realised afterwards kind of going, hang on, wait. That wasn't what we were actually meant to be talking about. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence about what she actually thought it was going to be. But by the time that was aired and season 2 was going to be starting to be filmed, she was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be a part of it for many reasons, I think. But
well, yeah, many of those reasons we'll be talking about tonight. She, oh my goodness.
Cool. I guess we better, like, we should start this with a bit of a, oh, hi, all your cool cats and kittens.
She's so cringeworthy, isn't she?
Yes.
So she's released, we'll get to all of this, but she's released, like, she's got a YouTube channel and she's got, oh my God, she's done so many different media appearances over the years.
Yes.
Her demeanour, the way she dresses, the fucking flower crowns, I can't even.
No, but it's that whole, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine I've got a very large dog, don't be wrong, but I can't imagine owning these wild animals.
No.
What draws people into that world to begin with? Because looking at what I could find, she wasn't drawn into it originally from a protective point of view.
No.
So
she absolutely wasn't.
I think she would say that she was, but it's very clear there is video footage of her encouraging people to have these animals and how to take on a wild animal. So it's certainly not where she really started from.
No.
So the Joe Exotics of the world, the Tiger King, and Carole Baskin, and then obviously in season 2 when you even more so get to know that Don Antle, was that his name? Doc Antle, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, they're all very weird, different
very weird.
bunch
it's
of
very
people.
Cult-like, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. All right, let's get into it. I'm a bit excited.
Let's get into it. Absolutely.
So Carole Baskin, as we know her, was actually born Carole Stairs Jones. Stairs being her middle name was actually her mother's maiden name.
Uh-huh.
She was born on the 6th of June in 1961 to a very poor family. They weren't wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. They lived in a caravan park, in a trailer park, and her family were quite religious, and they were fundamental Christians, and they were, I mean, I guess they lived by a certain ruling because of that.
Yeah.
And it really was to the detriment of Carole in the end. At the age of 14, she was raped by 3 men at knife point. So these were 3 young teenagers as well, older than her, but still in their teens. And they lived in this trailer park with her, and they raped her at knife point. Her family eventually found out about it. I don't know. Do you know how they found out? I think she told them from memory.
I think she did tell them from what I remember reading. Yeah.
But her family basically said, well, you must have been asking for it.
And also you're now like damaged goods almost.
Yeah, like you're no good now.
Yeah.
So that kind of prompted her to leave home at the age of 15. So not very long after her rape. I can't even imagine the state she must have been in. I think in some ways this also informs her actions potentially, or knowing that now, I definitely look at her in a different way. Like you think these experiences during a really fundamental time of her life, like a very important time in her life, and the way her family didn't support her, that's transformative. That's life-changing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when she left home, she went to work at a department store, and there she met her first husband. He was her boss, much her senior. I think it was like 6-8 years her senior.
Oh, I didn't have it written down.
But definitely her senior.
Yeah.
His name was Michael Murdoch, and she was only 17 years old when they got married. Oh. Within a year, she was pregnant with their only daughter, named Jamie. This relationship between Michael and Carole was
tumultuous,
abusive.
Yep. Yeah.
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 So
physically, emotionally, psychologically,
financially,
the lot. Yeah. Abusing her from every which angle.
Yeah. There are some, anecdotes, and I mean, I guess it's worth probably noting that all of the stories that we hear are from Carole's perspective, but I mean, there's nothing to necessarily disprove that any of these things happened, although he does kind of potentially enter the story again later on in life, but we'll talk about that.
You said that.
So there's, they would have physical, verbal fight. There's a fight, apparently, and this was quite a significant day in Carole's story. But in 1981, they had a fight, and it was a bad one, according to Carole. And it got so heated that she felt like she really needed to escape that situation.
Yeah.
So she was actually preparing dinner at the time. She had a potato in front of her, so she threw a potato at his head and ran out the door. So she left baby Jamie at home with him and left. She didn't have a car at the time, and so she went for a walk along the road. And what happened when she went along this road? So this is in Tampa, Florida.
Blows my mind.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So she's, 20 at this stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 20.
Yep. And so she's walking along the road and a car pulls up, and driving the car is a man named Don Lewis. Don Lewis is married, and at this stage, I believe by this stage he probably had 3 of his 4 kids.
He did, yes.
Yep. And he saw her walking on the road and pulled over next to her and said, oh, look, you look upset. Jump in the car and we'll have a chat. She's like, oh my God, no, I'm not getting in the stranger's car. Good on her. He does a lap around, tries again. I think she says no again. He then does a 3rd lap around, and on this 3rd lap around, he decides to put a handgun on the passenger seat, and he says to her as he pulls up, there's the handgun there. You can pick that up and hold it to my head, and then we can chat. I really want someone to talk to.
How fucking weird.
She then gets in the car and does that.
And she even says, like, her recollection of this in interviews is she's like, well, then I thought, well, what have I got to lose? I've got a gun that I can hold at his head. So, I get in the car.
Who's to say that gun's not got no bullets in it, but the other one he's got does?
Oh, but having said that, what is she, 18 years? No, she's 20 years old at the time.
Yeah.
So,
it just
what
freaks
the
me
fuck?
out.
Now, it's probably worth noting right now as well.
Yeah.
At this stage, Don was 42 years of age. He is 22 years her senior.
Yep.
This particular night, he'd also had a fight with his wife, Gladys.
Yep.
And he decided that he'd leave the house and go and see his girlfriend. On the way to seeing his girlfriend, he bumps into Carole and he's like, well, she looks a bit of all right. Will I just pop over and see whether I can entice her into the car?
Yep.
So once Carole gets in the car, where do they go? They go to a motel.
A motel. Yeah.
And do it.
Do it. God.
She's 20 and he's 42.
Yeah.
She's upset. They're both married. What the fuck?
The hell? What is going through either of their heads? That one just gets me. But they continue seeing each other on the side. Like, neither of them leave their partners at
Not
this
immediately,
point.
no.
1990 before she leaves her partner, her husband, and he leaves his wife.
Yep.
And then in 1991, they get married.
Yeah, so
10 years.
Carole actually left her husband after 4 years.
Oh, sorry.
And then she was single but still having this affair with Don.
Yep.
And at the 10-year mark after meeting is when Don left his wife to then be with Carole. So at this stage, Don's 52, Carole's 30. And as you said, about a year after they officially got together because Don had separated from his wife, they get married.
And according to Don's first wife, that's not the only affairs he was having. Like, we're not talking that, he's had one girlfriend on the side and then replaced that one girlfriend with Carole. Like, it was a man who was, doing this at left, right and centre.
His wife, so Gladys, his first wife, actually said, I'm pretty sure there are at least 25 that I can count.
Yeah.
And that's that she knew of.
Oh, man. Why did she stick around too, though?
Because, she says she stuck around because she loved him so much. And every time she'd confront him about being with another woman, he'd repent. He'd be like, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. And she just kept going back to him. I mean, I think money probably played into it.
I was going to say.
Because, Don was... Okay, let's talk about Don a bit.
So, yep, Don.
So Jack Donald Lewis was
Yep.
born on the 30th of April in 1938. He was raised by a single mum in an era where that just wasn't a thing. So he's had a unique upbringing in terms of, you know, society at the time.
Which I find really then even harder to come by in terms of his womanizing, you know, and he's been raised by a single mum himself. I just feel like that's like what he clearly learnt nothing from his upbringing.
Have you seen, like, oh, this is getting really far ahead now, but a woman that he employed when she's interviewed in Tiger
Yes,
King, she's like,
yes, I love
I've
it.
been told he's
Yeah,
like
Anne McQueen.
Anne McQueen. I've been told he's like a sexy addict.
Didn't she? Her comment was like, she goes, I think I'm the only woman in his life that he hasn't had an affair with. And it's the only time I was happy I was fat and ugly. Or
Yeah,
something.
plump and unattractive or something like that. Yeah. It's very, she's so funny.
A character.
She's
God.
a real character. So Don was 15 years old and working at a grocery store, packing groceries, when he met 12-year-old Gladys, his first wife, soon-to-be first wife.
Yep.
12.
That's just...
It's disgusting. They dated for 3 years. Oh, sorry, for 2 years. So Jack Donald Lewis, obviously he goes by Donald. Don was 17 when they got married. Gladys was 14, needed permission from their mums, who both were like, yeah, sure, get married at 17 and 14.
Oh, God, I just can't. Like, what? I can't.
You can't drive a car. Like, you can't.
You're a child.
Can you
You're an
open a
absolute
bank
child.
account even without parental? No, I don't think you can. I think you need to be 16 for all that.
I mean, I know we're talking, 60s here, but still, that was fairly...
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's just not right.
It's really not right.
Nah.
They were married at 14 and 17. 11 months later, they had their first child. So
Oh, my
Gladys
God.
would have been 15.
Yeah, when she was pregnant. And no wonder, actually, now that makes sense, because I remember seeing like them in interviews, and I remember looking at them kind of, which one's the mum? Like,
Yeah.
you know, because they're not that far. There's
Yeah,
not
well,
much
there's,
age difference between
14
any of
to
them.
15 years between them.
Her and her eldest. Like,
Yep.
God, that's insane.
And they do. They look like they could
They
be
do.
sisters.
They all look, there's three, I think three women sitting there
Yeah.
in the interview. And I was kind of like, it took me like a few minutes to sort of work out which one was mum, you know. And,
Yeah.
Because, they're all very similar.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. So after their first child, they went on to have 2 more girls, and then they had a son who they adopted.
Yeah.
A little bit later on.
I couldn't find out too much
No,
about
there's
why
not
they
really
adopted him or whatever. Because at first I thought, was he looking for a bit of an heir, you know, to his stuff? But that didn't really seem to be the case either. There was, I don't know what the reasoning behind any of that was. But
No, and I actually couldn't find any information about him or what he's doing or where he's been or anything like that.
No.
So Don obviously decided that he did not want to be poor.
Yeah.
And he was incredibly proactive in establishing himself. Kudos to him, because he was self-made in the end.
Yep. Although he was, the word that was used about him was a ruthless businessman. He was, you know, you did not stuff around with him.
No.
Yeah. But he was also supposedly had a bit of a Midas touch. Everything he did do just happened to make money, and it made no sense in a lot of ways. Sometimes.
He made some odd decisions, but as you said, they worked out really well for him.
Yeah.
He bought 5 dump trucks.
Yep.
And he didn't even drive them. He just had people driving them for him.
Yeah.
He did drive a hauler, like a long distance truck in Tampa, Florida. On the side when he was driving these trucks, so he owned these 5 dump trucks. He was then driving this hauler. On the side of that, he also had a washing machine repair kind of side business where he'd take old, washing machines that didn't work, he'd fix them up and then he'd sell them.
Yeah.
Like, you can't imagine there'd be a huge amount of profit in that, but, you know, he was doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
He then progressed to used car sales. And we all know the reputation that used car salesmen have. I feel like he would have fit that bill to a T.
Yeah. Yeah.
He then moved from that into real estate, and what he would do, and this is, I feel like this is important when we're thinking about things further on in his life, but he would actually buy bad mortgages.
Yes.
And get people to pay him. So he'd buy these bad mortgages from banks and lenders, and he would then get people to pay interest to him, like 18% or something ridiculous.
Huge amounts that would just get them to foreclose.
Every time.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't afford, the reason they were bad mortgages is because people couldn't afford the mortgage, let alone this extraordinary interest on top of that. They would then foreclose on their properties and he would sell them and obviously pocket the
profit on that. Yeah, which is just awful. Like, you're literally kicking people when they're down at their hardest. Like,
I think that's important to keep in mind as we talk about this story. He fucked people over left, right, and centre.
Yes.
To make
a buck.
Yeah, to make a buck.
And apparently, I think what I was reading was that he was worth a fair bit of money when he met Carole, but he actually made more of his money after meeting her and when they were married. And she had a lot to do with this real estate stuff that he did. She was quite heavily involved in that from what I could gather.
Yeah.
Is that what you sort of found too?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was a self-made millionaire. As you said, by the time he met Carole, he was definitely well established.
Yeah.
People who knew him said he would bury money in jars in the backyard.
Yes.
He'd have gold bars made and bury those. So
yeah,
in terms of what he was actually worth,
really hard to pinpoint,
hard to quantify.
So many people have differing opinions. A lot of people said he was worth between about the $5 to $7 million mark, but there are people who also believe he was worth as much as $20 million.
Yeah, that's it. I've seen the same thing.
Yeah, really, really big discrepancies. And we can get to this obviously. There's reasons why I think that might be. So, but what he would do is he would do all that with, so he was wealthy and had a lot of money. He would always carry a lot of cash on him in case he wanted to buy something.
Did you know there was such a thing as a $500 bill?
No, I
didn't know that until I'd read somewhere or heard somewhere that he'd had these, because apparently he used to dress like a pauper.
Yeah, he literally, I think
he'd wear
his description of even when he went missing was that he was wearing a Kmart t-shirt and blue jeans.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he's a multi-millionaire, but that's how he would dress. He would also would buy his clothes from op shops and things.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily even a brand new Kmart t-shirt.
Yeah. But yeah, that blows my mind.
Yeah. But he would also dumpster dive too for food. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's
you
weird.
Go down and buy the restaurant, let alone the food that's at it, but you're going to go and dive in a dumpster? Yeah, really odd. Very
strange
guy.
behaviour.
Yeah.
Very, very strange behaviour. Yeah, he's a very, very interesting character, isn't he?
And Carole has described him as all of his life, that he was very eccentric. But then as time progressed, she has also, though, described him as potentially maybe developing something like Alzheimer's. So there was behaviour that was occurring that she identified. There was a doctor's report where it did sort of, it spoke of this, not necessarily diagnosing, but that's the only one. And she was the one who took him to that doctor.
Exactly.
So there was obviously...
And she was in on that appointment.
She was in on the appointment. So we have to sort of take this with a bit of a grain of salt. But she spoke about many things that he would do that were quite odd on top of his oddness. And inferring that maybe he was on the verge of Alzheimer's. But
I think it's worth noting, though, that she is the only person in his life who was close to him. And there were people who were very close to him.
Yeah.
She is the only one who says this.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, nah, he was absolutely switched on. She said things like, oh, he would go dumpster diving and then forget where he was and didn't know how to get home, or, things like that. And everyone else who knew him had no experience of that whatsoever.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I can see both perspectives of that maybe being true, but also not being true. So it's one of those ones where it's really hard to know.
It is hard
where
to
the truth on that one is.
Absolutely. So as we were saying, Carole and Don got married in 1991, year after Don divorced from Gladys. They opened a wildlife rescue centre called Wildlife on Easy Street, just because they lived on
Easy Street.
Yeah, it was on Easy Street.
Yep.
Carole describes this time. So they were looking to set up a cat rescue. So at the time in the States, it was legal for people to have big cats as pets.
Yeah.
And the way that was facilitated was that the second a tiger cub or a baby cat, baby large cat, was born, it would be removed from its mother, because apparently if they'd had any time to bond with their mother, they would immediately become more aggressive, and obviously that was something that then humans
Because
couldn't
they naturally want their
interact.
mother.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so Carole claims that they opened up this wildlife rescue because people would get these little baby tiger cubs and then they'd grow very, very quickly and they'd have nowhere to go. So
Yeah.
they would adopt or take in these animals, and they had, oh my God, tens of or hundreds.
Well, it started
of
with
animals.
that they got one bobcat, was like a special, a unique animal that they wanted at the time, and then they decided they wanted more of them, so they were going to go and buy 6 more of these bobcats from this guy who had a litter. And it turned out that when they got there, that that this place was actually breeding them for to make fur for coats and things like that. These bobcats. So so they were going to buy 6 of them, but the other 50 who were there were going to be used like skinned, like. So apparently she turned around and said to Don, well, we can't take 6 of them and leave the rest of them here to be killed and die. That's awful. So they just bought all 56 of them. Like, what the hell do you do with 56 bobcats?
Did they even have the facilities at that time?
I don't think so, no.
I mean, this property, Wildlife on Easy Street, it was like 40 acres or something. It was a huge property, but it didn't, at the start, definitely, it did not have the infrastructure to accommodate all of these animals.
Well, let's just say, I mean, they shouldn't be living in
Cages anyway. No,
I
they're
think
wild
it's
animals.
awful. Like,
and I think there was a bit of argy-bargy between Carole and Don, because Don actually wanted to start breeding them for the purposes of then selling them, because he was, I'm going to use the word entrepreneur, but he was obviously fiscally motivated.
Yeah.
And
he saw what he could make out of them. And
that's
that's
what he wanted to do. Whereas Carole at this time was then shifting more into
protective.
Yeah. Wildlife rescue type work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they ended up with, I mean, countless numbers of these big cats. I mean, it's extraordinary how many there are in America. There's more in America than there are in the wild in their natural habitat. That's insane.
Bizarre. In the Tiger King documentary, did you find it absolutely fucking weird?
The whole thing?
Well, the whole thing's weird. But, so when they've got this Wildlife on Easy Street, which they then named Big Cat Rescue later on down the track.
Yeah.
And in order to run such a large operation, they need volunteers, or they need people. They should be fucking paying these people, honestly.
Well, but I mean, this is the thing. I mean, they cost money to feed these cats, doesn't it? It's a vicious cycle. I mean, how do you then have? I mean, my dog costs a lot of money to feed,
and he's one.
It's one.
Yeah.
How are you feeding hundreds of these animals without volunteers? I guess, and raising money in some way.
Then do you think it's the fucking weirdest thing you've ever seen, the way the hierarchy of the volunteers works?
Bloody oath.
So what they do is they come in, look, do not quote me on the colours of their shirts because I didn't write it down, but they come in and they say a light blue shirt, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're a light blue shirt, you're a shit kicker. You've done less than a year's worth of volunteering. And some of these people volunteer for like 50 or 60 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
They're drawn to this wanting to be with, not so much cause. I think it's, look, I'm an animal lover. I do get on a degree of like people going, oh my God, the opportunity to be in their presence and be with them. I actually do understand that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was that kid. I would have volunteered for something like this at 16, 17. Like I would totally have done that. I was that kid. But yeah, so I do get it, but then it's like taking that for an advantage of that passion for someone, and then for the wrong reasons.
And then everyone's then striving to get the next colour T-shirt and the next colour T-shirt, and to the detriment of their own lives. Like some of them are like, oh yeah, I live on a camper trailer just over there because that way I can, get into work a bit earlier and be here longer. And And Carole goes past and she's like, oh, well, I don't even know who you are. And then she's like, oh, I only know the ones who've been here 5+ years and who've invested 1,000+ hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then on the other extreme of that is like Joe Exotic's one, where they live out of the Walmart truck, living and eating the food that's meant to be delivered to feed the animals. They pick over that first.
So disgusting
to eat.
So Joe Exotic gets the used meat. So any meat that's like returned to Walmart or like people have taken it on a shelf and then been like at the cash register being like, nah, don't want it. You know, it doesn't
used by
get
date
put back.
has happened to have clicked.
That gets stored, and I think Walmart would deliver it once a week or something. And it was meant for the cats.
Because they still
the tigers
handle food that's maybe
a little bit out of date.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic would make his staff pick through what was there and eat the meat.
That's what they would cook up and eat for themselves first. Like,
I heard a rumor as well. I don't know if this was in the documentary or not, but that they would then use that food also in the restaurant that was on site.
I know that's true.
Is it
yes,
true?
That's true. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't eat it at an establishment like that anyway. But still, seriously. I mean, it looks so fucking filthy, that place.
Oh, this is it. None of it. As I said to you, there's a zoo a bit similar to this here in Australia.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
We can't name it, can we?
Don't name it.
Don't name
but
it.
You've been to a similar...
Yeah.
Well, maybe not to the extreme of
Not
this.
quite to this extreme, and I don't know how their volunteer system is like or whatever, but it still blows my mind that it's nowhere near... We don't have this similar sorts of thing going here in Australia, and that's why I think this one stood out to me so obviously of like, this is Tiger King-esque, but nowhere near to that level.
Yeah, yeah.
But different, very different, yeah.
You were saying you and your mum still laugh to this day about that place.
Oh, you just mentioned it to my mum and just like, it was the plastic chair in with the cats. They were lions and there was a plastic chair sitting there going, someone come and have their lunch in here or something? Like, it was really weird. Hell? It was really weird.
Just have a tiger back up and sit on it or something. So Don absolutely loved Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Had an affinity for Costa Rica.
Yep.
He wanted to move all of their animals down from the big cat rescue.
Well, he had a girlfriend down there too.
Well, he did. Of course he did. He wanted to move all of the animals down there and start a zoo.
One thing I did find really gross that I read about was the fact that he'd go down to Costa Rica more often if Carole was menstruating.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not. Yeah.
That is so disgusting.
Yeah.
So what? She had her period and
so he'd fuck off to
down
Costa
there.
Rica. Yeah.
What if his girlfriend had a period?
Well, obviously they weren't allowed to align.
That is so fucked. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that gross?
God, he's so gross.
Yeah.
While Don was down in Costa Rica, especially sort of in the early days of the, Easy Street rescue, Carole would have a vet come in and spay the animals while he was down there and not tell him about it because he was still
wanting to breed
them,
yeah,
establish this zoo, make money from it. And
it's not a zoo then, is it? Like it's a breeding ground.
Absolutely not.
God, it's awful. Yeah.
Absolutely not. And Carole, obviously, by this stage, she decided this was not the way that she wanted things to go. So, she's, had them spayed without his knowledge.
Yeah. So she was definitely doing bits and pieces behind his back and, making decisions about those things for herself, which, don't blame her.
So I think we're probably at the stage now where, we're in August 1997, right? So we've mentioned Anne McQueen already. Anne McQueen was Don's oldest friend. Mm-hmm. They'd never had a sexual relationship, as we've previously stated.
Yeah.
But they were very, very close.
Yeah, she was the person who he went to with everything. She knew everything and had possession of things like that. She was on top of it all, business-wise, personally, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
He, for some reason, selected her to run his books and he trained her, and her loyalty 100% was with him.
Oh, yeah.
And she did everything she did for him and for the betterment of him and his business. She was his trustee, the executor of his will, and in August of 1997, in June of 1997, he gave her an envelope and said to her, "Don't open this until, like, you'll know when to open this envelope.
Yeah.
Don't need to open it now. I just need you to hold on to this. You'll know when the right time
she
is
was
to
like,
open."
well, when will I know? And he's like, you'll know
Yeah.
if it's the right time to open it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she was like, oh, okay. So she's tucked it away in with all the other important documents.
Mm-hmm.
Around this same time, he told Anne that he wanted to divorce Carole. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. Like, I mean, I guess,
because he didn't want her getting anything.
No, none of
Yeah,
them.
that's
none
why
of
it
his
wasn't
money.
easy. It was all, yeah.
But I mean, I guess divorce is never easy.
No.
And sometimes it's easier to stay with a person. Maybe they had this, wildlife rescue park. Like, how would you even come to divvying that up? They had a lot of assets in common.
Yeah.
And it would have been so freaking messy.
Yeah.
And as you said, he also then didn't want her to have anything, even though a vast amount of his wealth that he'd accumulated while he was married to her. Not just with her, but married to her.
Yeah. I mean, I think her name was on like some of the realty business side of things as well. Like, so.
Well, I think she was the driver in that.
Yeah.
Really.
So I think that was that was a huge. That really tipped them over in terms of how much money they were making, and I think that meant that he wasn't able to just split from her and to go, oh yeah, you have that, or I'll take half of that, because he was like, no, you're not getting any of it. When actually she did contribute and she did participate in that growth of that wealth. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think she was quite the savvy businesswoman herself.
Yeah. I think she doesn't come across the brightest tool in the shed at times, but I think she might be.
Yeah, and when she applies herself, I mean, we'll get to a bit more of this later on, but if she applies herself and puts herself into it, she can be very successful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
On Friday, August 15th in 1997.
Oh, can we just go back 2 months prior to that?
Oh, yep, sorry.
Yeah. So as he's talking about wanting to divorce her, so in about June of 1997, he actually applied for a restraining order with the court, which was denied by the courts. And this is where I think we sort of come into that crossroad of whether or not, that Carole was sort of saying that it was his Alzheimer's that was maybe ticking into certain things, that he thought she was doing things when she wasn't, and was, So, but
it's all very
for whatever
convenient.
reason, which would be very unusual for a court, if he was saying that she was saying she was going to kill him and that he was scared of her, and so he wanted this restraining order. But for whatever reason, and we can't find the court documents, and no one knows exactly what the judge's decision on this was and why, but he decided that there was no need for a restraining order.
I have seen this.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah,
I couldn't
there's
find
like
it.
literally you can online. There's like just the snippet of the bottom part of the court document, so everything else is redacted.
Yeah,
and it's like the judge's reasoning.
Yeah,
and it was lack of evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he sort of what the inference of like that was apparently is that her just saying, oh, I want to kill you, doesn't actually mean that she's going to kill him. There need to be actual evidence.
As Don's lawyer says, he's like, we've got free speech. So you can say you're going to kill someone, but that doesn't mean you're going to kill them. So you can't actually be persecuted for that.
Yeah, that's it. So, but he walked away from that court, and if he was genuinely scared of her killing him, would he not have then gone and moved into somewhere else and not lived with her? Nope. He went and moved back into he slept in the same bed as her. He lived in the same house as her from that day for 2 months before this next event.
Yep.
So was there much in it? Was the restraining order really required? I don't know. But then this happens.
So like my thought is yes, but anyway, let's get into this.
Oh, I love this.
So
we might be disagreeing.
Friday the 15th of August in 1997, Anne tries to ring Don and can't get a hold of him. So as far as Anne is aware, Don has taken some cars down to Costa Rica to sell.
Well, he was planning on taking them. I don't think he had taken all of them yet or something.
Anyway, Anne needed to do some paperwork for it. She needed the VIN numbers or something.
Yeah.
So that she could do the paperwork to transfer the deeds or whatever down to
Costa Rica.
Yeah. And this had been done many, many times before. So Don knew that he needed to provide this information to Anne at some point, but she hadn't received it from him. She tried calling him. If he ever didn't answer her calls, he would then always call back or make contact with her in some way.
Yeah.
She didn't get any response from him for a couple of days. So on the Sunday, she calls Carole and she's like, I'm trying to get a hold of Don. Where is he? And Carole's like, well, I actually haven't seen him since yesterday. Was it?
I think the last time she saw him was the 17th.
Yeah, so I haven't seen him since yesterday. And Carole says to Anne, do you think I should call the police? And Anne's like, yeah, you think? Like, if he's missing, yeah. If you haven't seen him either, call the police. So Carole kind of has to then call the police.
Yeah, so she reports him missing on the 19th of August.
Yeah, sorry. So she says that she last saw him on the morning of the 18th. She reported him missing at 1:30 p.m. on the 19th.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're basically saying that the disappearance date is August 18th.
Yeah.
The last known actual physically seen sighted him other than Carole is the 17th of August. Yeah. And I don't know that Carole's actually even said that she has seen him physically. She's only spoken to him maybe on the phone.
No, she saw him. She said she saw him. So on the morning of the 18th, this is what she claims happened.
Yep.
She's left home at 3:00 in the morning.
That's right. Sorry.
To go and get milk byproduct for the cats. I don't even know what milk byproduct is, but whatever. Milk byproduct from the cats from a supermarket.
What supermarket's selling that at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I actually don't know. I couldn't find anything to see whether this was a normal pattern of behaviour for her. So I don't actually know whether she went at 3:00 every Monday morning.
That's when you went and go pick that up.
I don't know. Yeah. On the way home from this supposed trip to the supermarket, her car breaks down.
Yes.
And a sheriff's car pulls in to sort of help her or see what's going on. And one of the sheriffs is actually her brother. And anyway, whatever transpired, the other sheriff actually drove her home. I don't know whether her brother was helping her sort out her car, not sure. And she claims that morning at 6 a.m., so this sheriff's deputy has dropped her back at her property somewhere around a little after 3 a.m.
Yep.
She claims that she saw Don at 6 a.m. and he was supposedly leaving for Costa Rica in this car hauler.
Yeah. So he was meant to drop off some real estate signs to his lawyer's office.
Yep.
At about approximately 6 a.m.
Yep.
Which they did. They were dropped off, but no one saw him do that.
No.
But I think you might be right. She's seen him before he's left the house, but he wasn't seen physically being the person drop off the signs.
Yes.
But they were dropped off. So no one else saw Don other than Carole on that date.
Yes.
So we've got no proof of what her interaction was
or anything like that.
Yeah, only her word that she saw him that morning because no one else did.
Yeah. And she claims when she's interviewed by police and when she's interviewed by every media outlet, and you will see this if you watch Tiger King, you will see it if you watch any Carole Baskin, anything that has to do with Don Lewis.
Yeah.
She claims that he said to her, yes, I've got to leave early.
Yeah.
And she kind of like rolls her eyes when she says that, like, early. Like, and I just look at that and I'm like, the behavior to me is weird.
Yeah, there's a real like when you hear it when she gets interviewed about Don, and majority of those interviews that I've seen of her being interviewed about that is beyond 2000, sort of stuff. That there's a real like over talking about it, like over it kind of attitude from her that comes across, and I don't know whether that's a personality trait of hers, because we don't know this person, or whether she is genuinely exasperated about talking about it. It's like it doesn't come across well for her.
No,
not
at all.
No,
not at all. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Apparently, Don told Carole to get Kenny, who was like a...
He was like a handyman.
Like a handyman, farmhand kind of...
Did all the odds and ends of like run errands all the time.
Yeah,
for
he was
Don,
an employee of theirs.
Anything that Don needed doing, Kenny was the man.
Yep. To get the truck ready to leave early to Costa Rica the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was supposed to be leaving for Costa Rica on the 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So bizarre.
So, yeah.
At this point, Don's missing. Mm-hmm. And Anne's like, oh, I think this might be the time for me to open this envelope.
Yeah.
And that's when Anne discovers that Don had applied for the restraining order was contained within that envelope. So this definitely arose Anne's suspicions, didn't it? Because although she and Don were very close and Anne had a particular knowledge of their relationship and that things weren't great, but she did not know that Don had applied for this restraining order against Carole.
I think she obviously she knew that there was divorce on the cards, but didn't know that Don was feeling that he was unsafe by any means. Yeah.
And what Anne read in that documentation was that Don felt like Carole was going to kill him.
Yeah.
He mentioned several times that she'd made particular threats that were quite pointed. And he also mentioned the fact that she had access to a revolver and that he couldn't find his own revolver. His own revolver had got not revolver. He had a different kind of gun. I don't know guns. He had a different kind of gun that had gone he didn't know where it was. It had gone missing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So the police are like, all right, we've got this missing person. The two people closest to him really are Carole and Anne. So let's dive deep. Let's see where this leads. And excuse me. Anne was incredibly cooperative. She did a polygraph. She answered every single question. She allowed them to search her house, her car, anything they wanted. She was a completely open book. Carole did not cooperate.
No. Which the polygraph, I mean, so yeah, as she says to this day, like, I mean, it looks on the surface like she's not cooperating, and just about the polygraph, I'm okay with, because as she has stated, after the fact and everything, like that was the instruction from her lawyer, was to not do the polygraph.
100%.
Now, the thing is, you shouldn't do a polygraph because they're not admissible in court. And if she's just had her husband go missing. You don't know where she's at and what's going on and like what's, body wise in terms of your reaction to a very stressful situation. Something may come up on that isn't showing truth of like, whether or not you're telling lies about whether or not you've killed your husband. So you don't want that being recorded in some way.
And then used against
you. Like, so I do agree that, okay. But there's other aspects of this that she didn't participate in as she should have.
Well, she also did things that were so friggin' questionable.
Yeah.
A week after he disappeared, she emptied Don's office and took literally everything out of it.
Yeah.
So this is also the office that Anne worked in.
Yep.
So
I have another theory in all of this though. Yep.
Okay, tell me in a sec. But she cut off the water and power to this building a week after he disappeared. Mm-hmm. For all she knew, he was in Costa Rica and was coming back.
Yeah. Yep.
Go on. What's your theory?
Okay. So Don's car, on the 20th, was found at an airport, right?
Yeah.
So his van that he drove on a regular basis, this was his go about town car, was found parked at a very rural airport.
Unmanned airport.
And this airport was a bit dodgy, right? So you could get a plane, fly out of that airport without signing anything, without saying who you were and where the plane was and where it was going.
I think if you were following civil aviation, guidelines, you should have lodged a flight plan and whatever. But you could easily just not.
Yeah.
Because there's no one there actually tracking you or knowing what you do. And they were just like, there wasn't even a hangar there. There were just planes lined up on the side of the runway.
Yeah.
And Don owned
majority of them.
Several of those planes.
So he was known for just randomly buying planes. It was one of these things that he just would spend a bucket load of money on at the drop of a hat.
He'd also sell them though. He'd do them up and sell them. So again, it was another revenue stream for him, of course.
Mm-hmm. Or would he just do them up for other reasons, to be able to fly and do stuff? So
Well, what do you think he was doing with them?
drug runs.
Yeah, maybe. But okay. So the biggest plane that they had at that airport, which he had access to, in order to get that plane to Costa Rica, would need
it
4
doesn't-
refueling.
Doesn't have to go to Costa Rica.
Where's it going?
Well, so this is the thing. Okay, so he owned not just planes at that airport. He owned many, many, many planes, right? And he bought and sold them as well. So I think this is my theory. This is my theory that I am most in love with. I've got many. I have many, but this is my most, I think, theory of what has gone on here.
Yeah.
Is that you literally, to get to Costa Rica, you have to island hop, like fuel-wise and things, right? So, and you're not going to take one plane and do that with the drugs and keep it in one plane. Like there's this whole, you watch a movie called American Made and you can find out how they do all this, right? So what my thought is that he has loaded up his plane ready to go and pick up drugs from a point potentially, right? Not necessarily going all the way to Costa Rica or, anywhere else. Like, so he's potentially just flying, doing that first hop to collect or to drop off or whatever. So yeah, because he would have gone to go to Costa Rica. Yeah, he flew out of a completely different airport on a completely different plane. So he wasn't doing the flight to Costa Rica from there.
According to according to Anne, every time he went to Costa Rica, he flew commercial out of Miami.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going down to Miami, via Miami to Costa Rica on commercial. And he's got his business contacts down there for, all sorts of things. One maybe being drug runs. But then out of that,
but how are you proposing he got the drugs down there?
So he's bringing them into America.
So how did he get them?
So
back?
he's got planes that he's got other people flying. There's not just his planes, right? So he's got a whole system going, a whole drug operation.
So he's a
happening.
full narco,
right? I'm totally all for this. But I think this in some ways is a little bit innocent in that I think he's got this whole drug operation happening, right? And I think Carole is aware of it, right? So she's cleared out that office to make sure that there is nothing there incriminating in terms of that stuff, because she doesn't want to get not so much like to protect Don. I don't think. I think more to protect herself and that being caught up in it. So I think he's flown this plane somewhere over the Gulf. Something's gone wrong with the plane and he's crashed it because he's known for crashing planes, right?
He'd crashed 3 times.
He didn't have a license anymore because it had been revoked.
So he'd had 2 very minor crashes, but
so
he had one major one.
Yeah, he had a major one. But so I looked up on the FAA where you can find his license and it doesn't actually state why it's been revoked. But then you can go into another link altogether and you can find out what all the crashes are. Not all of them are reported, but there was quite a bit in there of his crashes. He's had quite a number of crashes. And then you got to consider the ones that he hasn't even reported, which from what I could gather, Reddit mainly, people in there have found exactly his crashes, but actual pilots saying that, yeah, there's definitely evidence there of a lot more, a lot worse. So I think he's done a drug. He's gone to, island hop, get the drugs, and he's crashed the plane or hit someone and there's been some sort of incident where, someone's shot him, whatever, been killed, murdered.
Yeah.
Or just had a plane crash and crashed in the middle of the Gulf. And that's why he wasn't hiding the car. And that's why the car was parked there so, openly that he was just leaving out of the airport, because the plan was he was coming back.
Oh, crazy. I like this theory because the other thing I was just thinking is, and this ties into the fact that Carole knows about it all, is that she also had her pilot's license.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I think less than 12 months before Don disappeared,
yes,
she also became a master parachute packer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Out of nowhere. Since when has she parachuted? She never has.
No.
Officially.
No.
So why would she need to become a master parachute packer? And why did she need her pilot's license?
Start the drug runs. And then
I'm loving this
Then they had
theory.
other people that were doing it instead, and so she didn't have to. So she wasn't using it. But she had the ability to fly a plane. Because that's another theory I have is that, she flew the plane and dropped him off somewhere over the Gulf or whatever. But I honestly don't know that. I'm not convinced that she actually murdered Don. That's the drug run one is my favourite theory. I do think that that's more like,
and
when you think of the picture of who he was as a person, I would not put it past a person of that character to go, make $1 million out of doing this. Done. Couldn't care less about the legalities of it.
Yeah. The thing that when Carole talks about his flying and she proposes that what might have happened to Don is that he's gone in a plane and he's tried to fly to Costa Rica and something's happened to his plane over the Gulf of Mexico, right? This is a theory that Carole puts out there. And she's like, because he knew how to fly under the radar.
That's all he did. She's
I know,
adamantly
but there
said
is
that.
no flying under the radar. There is no such thing. If you're flying above sea level, you're not flying under the radar. You
there weren't
can't fly under
towers
the
and
radar.
stuff at certain points. Yeah, I think that they wouldn't be picked up on the tower.
I think you can be picked up almost anywhere if you're flying. If you're above the ocean, I think, or above sea level.
You just don't ping. Like it doesn't pop up on their little on their little radars.
I don't know that that's
I need
true.
to ask Peter.
I need to ask Peter. I should have spoken to him about this before we recorded.
I'm pretty sure that is a thing that you can fly low. You fly low and you can avoid
I
being
actually
picked
don't
up.
think that's a thing unless you're like flying very close to like mountains or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know.
But anyway, I don't know. That sounded real sus to me.
Yeah. But no, that was definitely, I mean, yeah, if he's, doesn't sound like he was the greatest pilot on earth.
No.
And so I think that innocently in that respect, I actually think he's had a plane crash and died. I mean, we just haven't found the body in the plane wreckage.
Which I guess if he's flying over the Gulf of Mexico, chances are
and where would you even start when the plane wasn't registered as even leaving that airport?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't know where the flight path was. You don't know which island he was going to, so you wouldn't even know where to start to look anyway. Yeah, or on the other end of that flight, something's gone on with the transfer over of the drugs, and he's gotten killed in a interaction there. But that's I feel like that nothing else adds up as quite as much as that. But
although, all right, let's now talk about
Yeah.
Don's will.
Yeah,
and
so
powers of attorney.
That's
so
the
now
stuff that I go,
also,
what?
this is a bit of a spanner in that theory, in a way.
In a way.
Although I could actually, there are probably plausible reasons for this as well, if we're going down that path.
Yeah.
But Anne, being the executor and trustee, the will that she knew was written in one way.
Yeah.
And then obviously the office is cleared out, and in the office was the will and powers of attorney for Don. Mm-hmm. Carole then presents the will to the family and to the attorney, and it's not the one that Anne was privy to.
No.
And it had some really weird wording to it.
Yes, it does. But then so the weird wording that we're talking about is it uses the word if I happen to disappear.
It says, in the case of my disappearance, Carole gets everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a very weird wording to use, particularly in the circumstances of like who knows they're going to disappear.
In the case of my death, in the case of my disability, whatever.
Yeah, but disappearance? No, not too many people want to predict their disappearance.
And not many people disappear.
Yeah. No. So, and particularly when like in this situation, obviously we don't have a body, we don't have evidence of really anything at all happening. He has disappeared. So, yeah. It is a very interesting one. But I guess if you're running drug runs, you could get captured. You could get so maybe disappearance was on his mind.
Oh, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I think Carole's doctored his will.
Yeah.
And she knows he's disappeared, so she's written that into it.
And look, on that, I mean, I don't believe that she murdered her husband. I could be very much persuaded that she has falsified documents to ensure that she got things after the fact.
I think there is no doubt she falsified these documents.
Yeah. Which I don't think because one equates to the other in terms of like if she's done that, then she had to have killed him. I can't sort of maybe.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But
it does.
What kind of a dad who was close with his children? He was still close with his ex-wife too. They still had
oddly enough,
very weirdly, they still had a very close relationship.
Yeah.
He for sure didn't disinherit his children.
That's wrong. And I think that's wrong from Carole if she doctored that.
Well, she says that he did not want his children to get anything, that he wanted her to get all of it, and she felt that was unfair, so she wanted to give them 10%.
Do you know what?
When a hero comes.
Oh, these heroes can be all types of people, can't they? Yeah, look, I can come at the fact that maybe he was that much of a prick that he'd say, you know, I don't want my kids inheriting this.
Why? But there's
Because
no
he's-
reason for it.
No, there's not. But I think that he's the kind of guy, from what I've read about him and what I know about him now, to be like, I had to do it on my own. You can go fucking do it on your own. I don't come at the fact that he would have gone, I'm going to give everything to Carole.
Yeah, because he wanted to divorce her.
Yeah,
That,
he didn't want her to get anything. He was more likely to have gone, Kenny, you know,
Yeah.
a good mate, my handyman, he's a mechanic bloke. What's his name? Dale Lively. Here, have some dosh.
Yeah.
He'd rather it buried in a backyard somewhere, I reckon, than anyone getting it.
Yep.
I honestly think that's the.
I disagree with that. I think he would want his children to have it because despite the fact he was a total tight ass and would wear these $1 t-shirts and $20 jeans or whatever, he did give his children money.
Oh, he did.
Throughout their
hadn't
lives.
read that anywhere. Yeah, right.
He'd given them money. Like,
Okay.
he helped them buy houses. He helped them with their businesses.
Okay.
He did give them money along the way. So
Yeah.
I don't think he would have disinherited them. And his wife Gladys, who I know, she obviously sees the best in him. Fuck only knows why. But she also says, like, there is no way he wouldn't have left them at something.
Yeah. No, I can come at that Carole's.
Yeah, she's
dodgy
totally
shit there.
Allegedly, she has adopted these documents.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. So Kenny, the handyman, he claims in the Tiger King that the last words Don said to him were, "If I can pull this off, it'll be the slickest thing I ever did in my life."
Which is why I also think it was drug runs.
But wait for it, because Kenny then financially gained from after the Tiger King aired, the first season aired, Carole sold Kenny $150,000 worth of real estate for $9,980.
Why?
$20 shy of $10,000, which needed needs to be declared.
Yep. Why?
I don't know. You tell me why.
Right. Okay. Well, right. Yeah, did he? Oh.
He's helped her do something.
I've watched interviews with him.
On top of that, she also then, in the subsequent years, gave him another $300,000 worth of property.
So she's pretty much almost like given him potentially more than she's ever given the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be close. It'd actually be close. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, was that her paying him to
say that?
And get rid of the body or something?
This is my theory.
Yeah.
This is my front runner.
That's your front runner.
But I also really like your theory.
Well, okay. Maybe we can combine the two, because I actually feel like Kenny knew all about the drug runs and was involved in all of that too.
Yeah.
So I think that if that's what was going on, I reckon a whole lot of shit needed to be covered up so that, Carole and him potentially weren't then connected to it all.
I just had a thought. What if Carole and Kenny were like, Don's come back with the money and they've been like, well, we'll take this $1 million and we'll just top Don.
Nah, because I reckon
think he didn't make
No,
it back?
I reckon the drug runs were going on for a long, long time. I think that was a long-term operation.
But what if he came? Why did this one trigger an issue? Oh, you think? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it could have just simply been a plain issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it could have. I mean, drug runs go wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Could have been some dick on a plane that's giving him the stuff who's gone, nah, I'm not handing it over to you. I'm going to take it and I'm going to make the money out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
The detectives in this case also really dropped the ball.
Yeah.
So, Don's reported missing. They find his van at the airport. They let Carole take it home.
Just take it home. Just sit in the
2 days
lot for 2 days.
2 days later, they go and look at the van, and it's been wiped clean. There is one fingerprint found, and that is of the mechanic who'd recently serviced the vehicle.
Yeah, 4 days earlier, he goes, of course, my fingerprints were on it. I serviced it 4 days.
My fingerprint should be all
everywhere.
over it.
Yeah, because he was interviewed by a guy, and he said, do you wear gloves when you do your work? And he goes, no. Like, why would I do that?
Look at my hands.
Yeah,
no.
He goes, no, my fingerprints should have been all over that car. Like, Yeah.
And he'd done something which meant that he needed to be inside and outside the car.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He said, no, it should have been more of my
They just found
fingerprints, not.
one fingerprint in
Yeah.
that entire car, and it was like on the center like console bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, again, was it being wiped down for drugs? I don't know. So,
In the car
yeah.
for drugs or anyway,
Yeah.
in the car they found Don's keys and a briefcase, and I don't think the briefcase had anything of note in it that I could ascertain.
There's nothing else. But again, what was in there before? It had been left at Carole's place for 2 days too.
Exactly.
So who knows?
Who knows? Who the hell knows?
That's a major drop of the ball. But like, I mean, and I think some people also talk about the fact that Carole's brother, who was he's obviously a police officer, not only a police officer, I think he was a sheriff, so fairly highly ranked. That he potentially had some sway in the investigation. I don't know if that's. Carole says that her and her brother aren't close.
Yeah.
That there's one I find it a bit interesting. She'd say something like, I left home at 15 and he would have been 9, so we weren't close. But I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
you still had 9 years with him.
Yeah.
And he's still your brother.
Yeah. So, but she reckons they're not close and everything, that he wouldn't have done that for her. But who knows? Again, it's hard to know.
The other interesting thing is the mechanic that serviced that van claims that Don wanted him to go with him on this trip.
To Costa Rica.
Which
it tells me like 100% he was expecting to come back from this trip.
Yeah.
Like, because I know there's obviously a, in the second Tiger King, they talked about the fact that, Don's alive and well in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing that
No
supports
evidence,
that.
no.
None whatsoever. That the letter that you kind of see a picture of in the documentary has been proven to not be
It was just doctored, It was fabricated.
It's fabricated. So that was picked up a lot in the media, that Don, and even Carole was very openly speaking about it, saying, he's been found alive and well in Costa Rica. There's been nothing to say that's been supported. And I don't think that that's what has happened, because, as you're saying, that he had plans of being around the following day or so to leave to Costa Rica, not on that day going to Costa Rica. He wouldn't have been saying stuff like that to people. And, hey, yeah, come down with me and, hang out with my lady friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't think that's what's going on at all. No. And the fact that it would take, as they say, multiple island hops to be able to get to Costa Rica in that fashion.
Yeah, in that tiny little plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Crazy.
Carole, another interview. So not long after Don disappeared, Carole was interviewed by... I think I wrote down it's a news show called Hard Copy, apparently. Yep. Mm-hmm. And a quote from that interview was, maybe he just doesn't know where he is and how to get home. Like, she's really pushing this Alzheimer's narrative.
Yeah.
And she kind of like starts to cry, but there's no tears.
Yeah.
It's so disingenuous. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Another thing I find so about Carole, like she's done herself no favors if she's not involved in this. But in order to file his death certificate and then obviously execute his will, he needed to be missing for a period of 12 months.
Yeah.
And so 12 months and 1 day after Don went missing, Carole filed for a death certificate, and therefore...
no, it's 5 years. Sorry, it was 2002.
5 years was it?
Yeah,
Sorry, so it was 5 years and 1 day.
Yeah.
Carole filed for the death certificate.
Yeah.
And I
think that her reasoning behind that is because she was struggling to pay for like the upkeep of the cats and stuff, and the way that it was set up wasn't until he died that she could get access to more of the money.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. They're a married couple. Yeah. They had shared finances. They had shared investments in real estate, which were generating a significant amount of income.
Yeah. But
she had access to that money.
Would maybe the ex-wife and the kids have put holds on things while he was...
How could they? They had no claim over it. They had no claim over it.
No, but I guess maybe they're unsure where he is. Would they be able to legally put stops on things? I don't know.
I never saw anything to that effect.
Yeah.
I think she had access to their money and she was just using that as an excuse.
Yeah. Because
Well, she had access. She had at least, even if she didn't have access to like the lump sum of money that he had.
Yeah.
She certainly had access to the income they were generating from their properties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was a significant amount of money. They owned, oh my God,
it's
an
crazy.
amazing amount of real estate.
Yeah.
So, nah, I don't buy that.
Yeah. She did end up remarrying again in 2004 to Howard Baskin. And I mean,
Oh my God, the wedding!
Oh God.
If you do nothing else after listening to this podcast, Google Carole and Howard Baskin wedding photos.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It is. So Carole's wearing like a nice, sort of wedding white boho style wedding gown. She is a lover of a flower crown, which makes me sick. She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
No one needs a flower crown. Come on. Howard is wearing like an animal print, like toga, or like a.
It's like a boy toy. Like, but he's just
he's got like a club, like Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, like kind of style.
And there's a photo of them. Let's see if we can actually pop this on our socials.
For sure.
There's a photo of him with a collar and and he's on all fours.
Yes.
And Carol's holding the leash.
Like he's the cat.
Oh! It's so gross.
Great.
It's so bad.
So bad. Nah, I can't. And they're so in love. Like, and they're like old and in love.
He worships the ground she walks
He
on.
literally does. Like, so there's that the Louis Theroux documentary. Because I love him. I think he's great. I just think whatever he does is great. It's a very different take on this whole thing. And because I kind of like, because he is refreshing like that. It's not dramatized at all. He tells it as it is. And so, and I think with that in place, you kind of do see who Carole is and who Howard are for a little bit more real.
Agreed.
And so there's a scene where he's interviewing them and he does go to ask a question about Don, and Howard like, but he barks up a bit, like sort of, like protective and stuff. And Louis sort of turns out, he's very protective of you, isn't he? Like, but it's like real false at the same time. Like,
it's weird because he's like weaker than her.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's the subordinate in that relationship. Like she dominates him. Something shocking.
I'm sure he loves it in the bedroom.
Oh, gross. Oh. I did read somewhere or hear somewhere that someone referred to Carole as a bit of a wildcat in the sack.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh, gross. Oh, she probably is.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, it sounds like she's done some stuff.
Oh, yuck. So, but yeah, I thought that same thing in that interview with Louis Theroux. I'm like, he was trying
to look all big and tough.
Missed the fucking mark. Oh my God. It just made him look really pathetic.
But yeah, if you want to like a bit more of a real look at what's gone on with all that sort of stuff, like especially I think in terms of Joe Exotic, that Louis Theroux interview and his documentary gives a different spin on things. For sure.
Yeah, agreed.
It's worth a watch.
It's definitely worth a watch. Let's talk a little bit about Joe Exotic and Tiger King now.
Well, in relation to Carole Baskin in particular, I mean, obviously he's in jail for trying to kill her, have her killed. And I think you watch the Tiger King series and you sort of go, well, yeah, should he be in jail? You don't want him to be in jail because you like him. Like,
he's charismatic.
He's very charismatic and, well, should we say, maybe a bit narcissistic.
Yeah, you think?
There's so many things that are problematic with him that I think Louis Theroux even said at the end of his interview, he goes, I'm really so disappointed because I like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much more to him that I dislike. One, the fact that his husbands have all been 19 when he's met them. And then become massively drug addict. They're massive drug addicts, and that he has literally then he's created them to be drug addicts. I mean, you look at that, particularly that Travis. You see him at the very beginning of like him arriving at the park, and then you see him a few years down the track.
Yeah.
And like the difference in him, I mean, just his facial features and things like that, and his demeanour. Clearly, he arrived as a bit. He was described as a pothead. Well, that's a big way. I mean, being a pothead is a long way between pothead and crack
What
addict.
you see him, yeah,
which is what he is at the end.
Yeah,
and
so sad.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, my belief is that Joe Exotic belongs in jail for a number of reasons, not just what he did with Carole.
Agreed. And he is where he needs to be, and
Yup.
that's all worked out the way he needs to. But God, he's a character.
Oh God, yeah.
He created a song. So he hates Carole.
Yeah.
Hates her beyond measure.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wants her dead. Like, he had YouTube channels dedicated to, like, he'd read her diaries, which were fabricated, and he just, like, everything he did, he had, like, he'd hang likenesses of her, like, as in hang them to, like, with a noose.
Yeah.
To, like, kill them.
Yeah.
Like, he did some really, really weird and
Really fucked
odd
up
shit.
Yeah.
But he also wrote a song about it.
Oh God, yeah.
It's called Here Kitty Kitty. Please do yourselves a favour and have a listen.
Check out the video clip specifically.
Oh, the video. So he's got a likeness, and it is a great likeness. She looks
unbelievable.
exactly like Carole.
Yeah. I literally, when I first saw it, had to like double take going, why would she do that?
I thought the same thing. The other thing I thought was, geez, he's actually got a really nice singing voice. Oh, guess what?
Same.
It's not him. He paid someone else.
Yeah.
Or whoever he paid. You've got a beautiful singing voice.
I worked it out as the episodes go along with Tiger King, and you hear different songs that he's released, right?
Yeah.
I think it was about the third or fourth song. I'm kind of going, geez, yeah, he's got a good voice.
Yeah.
And I went, but you know what? He sounds different
in
every song, like as if it's a different singer. It is.
Yeah,
like every song's a different person singing.
Yeah, he didn't even get the same person.
It's the same person, like Beyonce does.
Yeah. Don't you dare. Okay, so I'm just going to read out my favourite verse from the song. I'm not going to sing it because, my throat.
Whatever.
She was a rich woman. She had rich taste. She felt the blood running through her veins. She liked the life she had. She loved her big cats and the beauty of being untamed. Well, everything was fine, just as sweet as wine, but her husband went and disappeared. But then it got a little crazy, got a little hazy, and the cops said there's something wrong here. Oh, here, kitty kitty, Mama's got some treats for you. And it goes on. It goes on like that for, 1, 2, 3, 4 verses.
Oh, my God.
It's actually pretty fucking poetic, honestly. It's actually really give it a listen.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
but no, the video clip for that is just next level.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, because we haven't even mentioned that the biggest thing that Joe Exotic was accusing Carole Baskin of doing was feeding Don Lewis to her tigers.
So he claims that. So Joe infer. Well, no, he doesn't infer. He fully
flat out
explicitly says that Carole ground him up in the meat grinder and fed him to the tigers, right?
So in the video clip is the lookalike standing there at the tiger cage with their tongs and a bit of meat and dangling it in for the tigers.
Oh, it's
and
the
feeding
best.
it to as if, and there's a hand like on the plate,
and a head.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so fun. You've got to watch it. Like, you wouldn't even believe that somebody would put something like this out. It's actually so good.
And then not think they'd get sued or something. God.
The family, like Don's family, actually then called the police after all this came out, in this, especially this video clip.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we want that meat grinder DNA tested.
Yes.
We want to know whether Dad has gone through it or not.
Yeah.
The police were like, yeah, we're not doing that.
No.
There's not enough evidence to support
well,
that.
apparently, I know in the documentary, Joe says a tiger's stomach is so acidic that they can swallow like a chicken whole, and there's nothing, like no bones will come out the other end kind of stuff. But a chicken is a little bit different to human bones. There's some rather large bones in a human that you'd have to still get rid of, and there's no evidence of those.
No.
Joe's other theory was that she buried him under a septic tank.
Yeah.
And that's sort of been a bit debunked as well, that septic tank, one, either didn't exist, which I think they've proven it does exist, but it was actually put in before Don went missing.
Yeah.
So, his
was...
two theories really don't hold a lot of water. But
no, they don't.
But, yeah, he was very adamant that she fed him to the
I actually
tigers.
I had a bit of a chuckle to myself, though, because Carole talks about Joe Exotic's theory of her putting Don's body through the meat grinder in the Tiger King documentary.
Yeah.
And she says, she's like, I couldn't even fit my hand in there. And she's like fitting her hand in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is reminiscent of bloody OJ and the glove.
Trying to put his hand.
Trying to get his hand in the glove. It doesn't fit. I'm like, oh,
your hand's in there.
It looks like it actually fits to me. So, that's just a throwback to another episode. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to our OJ Simpson two-parter.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, there's so much in that documentary that you could go over forever and a day on the stuff in that. Not a lot. I mean, his political career, for one thing.
Oh, yeah. He announced he was going to run for president in 2006,
16.
16 was it? Yeah, okay.
I think, because it was, yeah. That you know that then when Trump was coming to the end of his regime, I was going to say, but
oh yeah, that works.
In his first stint, and they were really convinced, a lot of the people who have this hashtag Free Joe Exotic, convinced that Trump was going to pardon him.
Yeah,
and so on like the last few days of his presidency, there's literally a limo parked out the front of the jail, in the thought that at any point Joe could walk out of that jail from being pardoned, that Donald Trump was going to do that for him. I mean, come on.
But I mean, when you look at the people that Donald Trump actually pardoned,
I'd probably
should have been
Joe
on that
Exotic.
list. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But just Joe Exotic was not on his radar to be included in.
No, of course not.
At all.
Like, who the fuck does he think he is, honestly?
Joe Exotic. But you know that he's like one of the, I think he's like has the most amount of fan mail going into his jail as well. Like, and he apparently prolifically responds to everything he gets sent in jail.
Oh, we should write to him.
He's about the only inmate that I would write a letter to. You know, I mean, I'm not into that kind of shit at all. No. But he's one that I would potentially be like, that'd be fun.
Yeah. And especially if he responds to nearly everyone.
Oh, man, yeah.
Imagine that.
I'd love to stir him up with a bit of a, like, come on, tell us your real theory about Don Lewis and how'd she get him through the meat grinder. And
tell us more.
Yeah.
But at that point, Carole and Joe had never met face to face.
No, I love that. I was thinking that was in the Louis Theroux one when she said that. I'm like, yeah, they've only ever been in the same room as each other in court hearings.
In court, yeah.
Other than that, they've never actually spoken.
No.
Yet he has that much of a hatred for her.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Oh, and we've got to go back to something that you started to touch on at the beginning around her, Carole Baskin's first husband, Michael Murdoch.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Yep. So we get this whole story. This Jeff Lowe becomes part of the Tiger King story, and really, I mean, he ultimately he came in and kind of screwed Joe over. He was a major part of, trapping him to be put in jail for all of this. He got a bit in line with the I think he was covering his own ass in a lot of ways, to not be caught up in it too much, because he hated Carole as much as Joe did, I think. But so he was basically, people sort of say like this Jeff Lowe was really out to get Joe. Get Joe. And people have found images of Michael Murdoch and Jeff Lowe. And the theory is that they're the same person, and it was actually Carole telling her ex-husband to go in and do that on her behalf, and that Michael Murdoch is Jeff Lowe. Have you seen the photos?
Yeah. Oh, it's uncanny.
Uncanny how much they look alike.
Yeah. It is uncanny.
And so no one's actually disproven this either.
No. And this is only like a recently kind of discovered thing, really.
Yeah.
It's like
within the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah, and truly after the documentaries of as in after the Tiger King series have both come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love.
I love it too.
I'll put the photos up on our socials.
Okay.
There's a great one where it shows each of them individually and then one of their faces like combined, and it's literally the bottom photo just looks like them both. Like it's
amazing.
The symmetry of their faces marry up unbelievably.
I love it.
It could be this is legit. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if Carole was that conniving
I think she is.
that she would get her ex-husband, who was an abusive piece of shit,
Yep.
which Jeff Lowe fits that profile. Has multiple wives
Yep.
or girlfriends on the side
Yep.
or whatever, known to his current wife who was pregnant, all that sort of shit.
Yep.
So what is with the multiple?
Oh, fuck.
Anyway,
I just can't even.
Yep.
We haven't even touched on that, but nah.
whole other episode. But
Yeah.
Carole Baskin has got her ex-husband to go in and pose as this Jeff Lowe and take over Joe's zoo and take all his money off him.
Yep.
And screw him over absolutely to the point where he's in jail for 22
I wouldn't put
years.
it past her.
No.
In many of the litigations that have come up against Carole, she has represented herself in court and won every single time. Mm-hmm. She has not lost a court case against her.
No.
I think she's more
smarter
clever.
than she lets
yeah,
on.
I think so.
100%.
I think so.
I think she likes people thinking that she's ditz because they think they can get away with doing stuff.
Yep.
Well, even Joe, I mean, it was the narcissism, but he was oh, I've got her,
Yeah.
I'll take that bitch to court.
Yep.
Nah, she had him over a barrel the entire time. She knew what she was doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, God.
It's such an interesting case. Just really quickly, I want to run through some of the theories that have been put out there of what happened to Don. I
Yep.
know we've discussed what we think's happened, but
Yep.
theory number one is that he was murdered by Carole. I would say, this is the most popular theory. And I think that's because people just believe what they've seen on
On
the Tiger King and it is what it is. Second theory is that he faked his own death and that he's living it up in Costa Rica and he's alive and well and, living a life of luxury down there with multiple girlfriends. Another theory is that he was either abducted or murdered by criminals because of potential illicit activities and business ventures that he was involved in.
Yep. Here in the States, I mean, that's,
Yep.
Yeah.
Accidental death. So he's somehow, become
crashed.
something's happened and no one knows what actually happened to him.
Yeah.
Foul play by a family member because he had screwed over family members in the past. So he had, I don't know if it was siblings or aunties or uncles or cousins or someone who needed money, were destitute, and he just refused to help them out.
Right.
So but then to what gain? I just don't see that that's, feasible.
Yeah.
And then there has been, a few noted sightings of him in Costa Rica, which people then believe, and that sort of bolsters the theory that he is living there. But
he's a pretty everyday man kind of looking person, if you know what I mean.
There was nothing outstanding about him.
I think a number of people would look the same as him.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
And then I'm loving your theory.
I honestly, I mean, as much as yes, I agree in many things in that Carole is not a saint.
No.
By any means.
She's culpable, if not of his murder, then of lots of other things.
I just don't believe that she murdered him and that she could have pulled that off.
Why don't you believe that?
I don't think that she is a murderer. I don't think that that's who she is as a person. But I just think there'd be evidence somewhere. Something would be more obvious in terms of some evidence of that.
The thing that makes me think that she's not is why the fuck would she go on the Tiger King? Why would she agree to interviews like those with Louis Theroux or with CNN or all of these media outlets? If you had something to hide, if you were guilty of murdering you just wouldn't put yourself out there, would you?
No.
But then,
and that's why, again, the drug run thing, I think, makes a lot of sense in that I think she knew about what was going on and was in some way involved in it to the point where, when he didn't come home, she knew, oh, fuck, I've got to bury something. They've got to cover something. So when she goes into those interviews and she doesn't come across well, I do think it's because she has knowledge of something.
Yeah.
I don't think she knows whether he crashed or whether he met foul play on the other end of his drop off. I don't know whether she knew he necessarily had a drug run that day. You know what I mean? I don't know if she knew what was meant to happen on that day, but I know that I think she knew shit's gone down.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I have to make sure I don't get caught up in this.
Yeah.
And maybe Kenny too.
Yeah.
And they've covered up whatever they've needed to cover up. But I think these disappearance was separate to
Yeah.
their
okay.
cover-up.
Fair. Yep.
That's why I think that actually makes sense, because there's no evidence whatsoever of his body, of anything like that. So I just think there'd be some sort of evidence that we would be able to find if she did murder him.
Yep. On their property.
Yeah, on their property or in that van or at the airport or whatever that be. I think there'd be something we'd find. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Someone would have seen something, you know what I mean, moving the body around or something.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. So I think he got on a plane and we never saw him again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we would absolutely love to know what everyone thinks. There are, as we said, there are so many things out there.
Debunk my theory. Like, tell me how this is not possible.
Or do you think the same thing now after listening to this? Because I think that's, love it. Absolutely love it. Please hit us up on our socials, like, comment, do all of the things, because it really, really does go a really long way in helping us get our podcast out to more and more people.
Yep.
And thank you so much to all of the new listeners we've got. Like, it is astounding. We are
it's incredible.
Blown away. Absolutely blown away.
We've got a lot of followers on TikTok, and I'm aware that also TikTok may disappear for some. So follow us we're over on Instagram as well. So if you're fearing that you're not going to be able to follow us on Instagram or something, on TikTok, I'll keep posting to there until I can't, or whatever. But move across to Instagram if you need to. We're on there as well. So I'll post all the same videos on Instagram.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Now, next week we are going to be covering a case that involves our favourite detective, Ron Iddles.
Oh, yay.
In his first ever homicide case.
Yes.
So this is the case of Maria James. It is, oh my God, it's a tragic, tragic case, but really it's an Australian case, so we're bringing it back, a little more local into Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to researching this one.
Yeah, this is the one that's, I think, haunts Ron to this day, that this is like his one that he hasn't solved.
Yeah, I mean, his clear rate's well over 95%, I believe, and this being his first ever homicide case and it's not solved is, we've got a lot to discuss next week.
Absolutely, we do. There's a lot of, there's theories, etc. on that one too that we'll go into. Yeah.
All right, join us next week for another episode of Two Crime Besties, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Go and rest your voice, please, Emma.
Yes, I'll be right. I'll be right next week.
Stay curious, Crime Besties.
Bye.
This is the Four Crime Besties spectacular episode. The kids are the one ruling the show. Kids rule, grown-ups rule. Kids are super cool, making grown-ups look like a fool. Because this is the Four Crime Besties.
Good job, Brody. I'm Oliver and I'm 10 years old.
And I'm his brother Lucas, and I'm 8 years old.
And we're kids of True Crime Bestie Emma.
I'm Mason. I'm 9 years old and I like sombreros.
As you can see, it's very clear.
I'm Brody. I love basketball. I love Steph Curry. And together we are Meg for the Two Crime Besties.
Yeah.
Sick.
So,
Also, he's 7 years old.
Yeah. How dare you forget Brody?
Wait.
We will be exploring the crime of
A serial killer.
Also, that is spelled with a C, not an S. Like
Yes.
this
That's
cereal.
that's serial.
This is the cereal.
Nutrigrade.
Yeah,
But that Nutrigrade's very concerning.
Alright,
It's
so,
in a brick.
Also, the culprit is actually not known yet. It is a very tough mystery.